Hello, basketball people, we have news. Let's go to more news about the Golden State Warriors. I ask you to give a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, as I am a Warriors fan. A three-team trade is being suggested so that the Warriors can upgrade their roster and bring in big man Rui Hachimura from the Lakers. The Warriors were engaged in an off-season saga involving contract negotiations with 22-year-old forward Jonathan Kuminga. The sheer duration of these discussions and the lack of resolution have also prevented Golden State from completing its pending deals. This trade is crucial for the Golden State Warriors. While there has been a marked preference for retaining Kuminga among the ownership, the events of the offseason would indicate serious problems in the locker room if the forward remains. Trading the 22-year-old could be in the team's best interests, as it allows them to gain something of value in return. In this context, acquiring two capable wings would be a major upgrade. Rui Hachimura has positioned himself as an extremely reliable forward. He is a solid two-way player, showcasing versatile offensive skills and noteworthy switchability on defense. Although Hachimura lacks elite lateral quickness, his innate strength and positioning allow him to defend much larger players. For the Warriors, his defensive upside will be vital, especially given their typically shorter rotation. The Dubs would also benefit from his efficiency on offense as a perimeter threat and mid-range scorer. His averages of 13.1 points and 5.0 rebounds per game, while shooting 50.9% from the field and 41.3% from three-point range, from last season proved to be solid. Meanwhile, acquiring another young wing player like Jamie Jaquez Jr. could also prove to be beneficial. The Heat have been heavily involved in the 24-year-old's development. With great expectations of him to emerge as a key role player, the Dubs could aim to nurture his development, too. Jaquez Jr. possesses an impressive offensive skill set, presenting the possibility of becoming a three-level scorer. While his athleticism isn't outstanding, he prioritizes footwork and elite shot-making ability to contribute. The Heat forward saw a dip in performance last season, as he averaged 8.6 points and 4.4 rebounds per game, while shooting 46.1% overall and 31.1% from beyond the arc. This could be attributed to a sophomore slump. Still, the guard is expected to bounce back stronger, which could be useful in strengthening the Warriors' bench rotation. A deal like this would effectively allow the Dubs to expand their wing depth while simultaneously building their roster strength. Additionally, with the Kuminga situation dealt with, the Warriors would be able to complete their pending signings, asserting their status as competitors again. Brandon Podziemski could be demoted if shocking Warriors prediction proves true. Pods could lose his starting spot. As the Golden State Warriors appear poised to bring in multiple veteran guards as late off-season additions, the organization evidently has its eyes turned towards filling out its backcourt with rotational pieces to help bolster the depth of the team as a whole. Yet, if Warriors beat writer Monty Poole's prediction on the latest episode of the Dubs Talk podcast is correct, it will be an absolute necessity that DeAnthony Melton starts, leaving young guard Brandon Podziemski back with the bench unit. Although Podziemski took major steps forward last season in some facets of his game, there were also lingering concerns regarding his ability to be a primary playmaker and to increase his aggression on offense. Therefore, while a bench unit role could be suitable for him this season, it would come with some major disappointment from fans who want him to seize his opportunity. Brandon Podziemski could be back with the bench unit this season if Melton ultimately signs. Throughout the offseason, the organization has flirted with a number of veteran guards, including Melton, Gary Payton II, Seth Curry and Malcolm Brogdon, as they attempt to furnish their established veteran trio with a championship-worthy supporting cast. Almost all of these players, given their age and skill set, would be slated for a bench role with the team. Yet, as Poole points out, Stephen Curry would benefit highly from having a strong point-of-attack defender next to him in the backcourt, and this necessity could push Melton into the starting lineup. The Warriors are at their best when they have a strong defender next to Steph. Melton was the guy last year until he got hurt. They need to go back to that because Buddy Hield is not a strong defender. Brandon Podziemski is not a strong defender. In one sense, a reduction in Podziemski's minutes at this point in his development would be an unfortunate occurrence. Last season, through 64 games, the young guard averaged 11.7 points, 5.1 rebounds, and 3.4 assists, starting 33 games for the Warriors while dealing with his own injury struggles. On the other hand, Poole makes a strong argument in pointing out that Podziemski's energy and fast pace of play, in some ways, make him an ideal fit for the bench unit. With a presumable combination of Buddy Hield, Moses Moody and Jonathan Kuminga coming off the bench this season for Golden State, asking Podziemski to serve as the glue and primary playmaker for this group could force him to accelerate his development rather quickly. Nevertheless, without the defensive prowess and experience that players like Melton or Payton possess, it could be difficult for Podziemski to earn a place in a starting lineup that will be dependent upon one of their guards being a competent defender. Jonathan Kuminga ready to bet on himself, prepared to sign qualifying offer with Warriors. Tension is rising in San Francisco as the standoff between the Warriors and their disgruntled young star, Jonathan Kuminga, drags on. In the latest update by Brett Siegel, he revealed that the swingman is on the verge of taking a $7.9 million qualifying offer that will make him an unrestricted free agent in 2026. There haven't been any indications suggesting that the Warriors are thinking of changing their offer, wrote Siegel. Unless they do so over the course of the next week, Kuminga is prepared to end talks and accept his qualifying offer, league sources said. At the end of the day, Kuminga wants to feel valued, and the Warriors haven't given him ample reasons to want to stay. This summer's restricted free agent market has been unforgiving, with Cam Thomas accepting a $6 million qualifying offer from the Nets that includes a no-trade clause. In the case of Kuminga, an agreement isn't even close with the Warriors, and it appears he'd prefer to keep his options open rather than accept Golden State's current offer. It's been well documented that Kuminga seeks a longer-term deal worth roughly $30 million per year. While he may not be as accomplished as Stephen Curry or Draymond Green, he believes he's among their most valuable assets, being a 22-year-old with championship experience. With the core getting older, Kuminga envisioned himself as a key piece of their future and someone who could lead the franchise into the next generation. Of course, the Warriors aren't convinced that he's worth the premium. Their final offer to Kuminga was a 2-year, $45 million deal with a team option for the second year. In short, they want control over Kuminga's future and want him to prove that he's a long-term staple of the roster. Between his mistakes on the court and his sour relationship with head coach Steve Kerr, he has been far from perfect and still has a long way to go. As it stands, with neither side likely to concede, it really only leaves one option for Kuminga, taking the qualifying offer. While he may lose money in the short term, Kuminga will guarantee that he becomes a free agent, giving himself an out and the freedom to choose a team that he feels truly respects his game and impact on the floor. With averages of 15.3 points, 4.6 rebounds, and 2.2 assists per game on 45.4% shooting last season, Kuminga clearly has the potential to reach a higher level, and he might even become a star in the right conditions. For now, however, his path is entirely uncertain, and things could get ugly before they get better. Regardless of what happens, this whole ordeal has been a major distraction for the Warriors, and it might impact their focus going into next season. For a team trying to win now, this type of drama threatens to disrupt the entire process, and it's already held them back from bringing in free agents this summer, like Al Horford. Ultimately, it's not hard to guess how the story ends for Kuminga and the Warriors. At this point, it's hard to imagine he's still on the team beyond next season. Between Kuminga and the drama with Jordan Poole years ago, it's clear that the Warriors' struggle to retain and develop young talent could haunt them long after the Curry era ends. Warriors need to get the Kuminga deal done before the market gets moving. As the offseason has trudged on, 3 of the 4 major restricted free agents still remain unsigned and in various points of a standoff with their respective organizations. Giddey, in attempting to negotiate a contract with the Chicago Bulls, has balked at their lowball offers and is seeking an annual value around $30 million. Thomas, in attempting to retrieve adequate value for his services from the Brooklyn Nets, has ultimately taken his qualifying offer of $6 million with the ultimate promise of reaching unrestricted free agency next offseason. Grimes, as a recent acquisition by the Philadelphia 76ers, is in the safest position of all restricted free agents and will likely reach a multi-year deal in the near future. This offseason for these players, and the lone team with cap space, the Nets, have not forwarded a singular offer sheet. Therefore, the resolution of any of these standoffs, either through a qualifying offer or an above-market value contract, could have a serious impact on the other organizations' negotiations with their restricted free agents. In Kuminga's case, a player like Giddey taking his qualifying offer in search of a monster deal next offseason could inspire him to do the same, leaving Golden State in the position of likely losing their prime trade asset for nothing next offseason. Moreover, while Thomas presents a slightly different situation because of the rebuilding scenario of the Nets, news of him taking his $6 million qualifying offer leaves the situation even more dangerous. As negotiations have worn on, the Warriors have made clear they intend to sign Kuminga to tradable contract, and, since there has been no movement on that front, the organization has exposed themselves to the dangers of a rapidly evolving market. In short, getting out ahead of any radical change could save them a headache as the season approaches. Unfortunate reality for Jonathan Kuminga emerges in NBA prediction. Soon, the Golden State Warriors will have to resolve their Jonathan Kuminga situation. By now, many would have expected Kuminga to be re-signed on a comfortable multi-year deal, or traded to another organization as rumors flew off the shelves back in July. Unfortunately for both parties involved, agreements can't be made. Kuminga, a restricted free agent, wants to break the bank, or earn a temporary deal that he has flexibility with after year one. The Warriors seem to value Kuminga, but they reportedly want flexibility on their side with a team option. Since both sides want control, a deal can't be made currently. Via NBC Sports Bay Area, the one-year, $7.9 million qualifying offer remains the most attractive offer to Kuminga at the moment, sources continue to tell NBC Sports Bay Area. The Warriors have offered a 2-year contract worth roughly $45 million, but are holding strong to a team option for the second year, while Kuminga and his camp have made it clear they want a player option for year 2. NBA writer predicts Kuminga's ultimate choice. The Warriors don't budge, and Kuminga ends up taking the offer he doesn't like, which is probably the best decision he can make under the circumstances, Bleacher Report's Eric Pincus wrote. Kuminga isn't the only restricted free agent taking his signing day to the buzzer beater, but the time for everybody is almost up. The 22-year-old is in great shape from a timeline standpoint. He's the same age as some rookies in the league, yet he carries 4 years of experience with him, including a championship season he played 70 games in. There's no doubt Kuminga is productive, but his demand on the market isn't exactly low. The value on Kuminga dropped slightly in 2024 to 2025 due to his dip in usage. After starting a career-high 46 games in 74 matchups 2 years ago, Kuminga came off the bench for all but 10 of the 47 games he played, averaging 2 fewer minutes. The Warriors got good use out of Kuminga last year. He posted averages of 15.3 points, 2.2 assists, and 4.6 rebounds. In the playoffs, he averaged 15 points off the bench in 8 games.